Hey guys, this is Joe.
This is DJ.
And this is the Ranger Wrap-Up. This week we have a special guest, Steven Zaruda from Hyperdrive Picks.
Hey guys.
Hyperdrive Picks.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
Nice.
Joe, I love your shirt.
DJ? Or it's actually Steve, I love your shirt.
DJ, I like your shirt.
And all together we are Shirt Rangers.
We are the Shirt Rangers.
Angel Grove.
Bonkai.
Button up.
But anyway, Steven, tell us about your channel.
Anyway,
on
so
YouTube.
I have a channel on YouTube called Hyperdrive Picks. It's about proving geekdom inspires art. A lot of that being Power Rangers related. So I do a lot of morphing videos, and then I'll do a VFX breakdown, a tutorial to teach you how to do it yourself.
Awesome.
I also do a lot of interviews with the actual Rangers themselves and funny skits. A lot of VFX involved in those skits too. So that's
You
kind
know
of
what,
my
man?
thing.
I've seen your special effects, dude. They're so on point. Like,
Thank you.
it's so clean. It's not even funny. So good stuff, dude.
Thank
pretty
you.
amazing.
I like doing that.
Yeah.
It
That's
looks
awesome.
good.
All right, well, let's get into the news.
So in the news, let's talk about the biggest things that are getting our mouth pretty wet right now, which is the Lionsgate posters of the movie with the actors in their Ranger suit, helmetless, on top of their Zords.
That's right.
So they released all 5 of them. They all look great. They all look smashing. Shout out to the Blue Ranger looking like a boss, laying down on his Zord, because that's something we would all do on our Zords.
Yeah.
So very excited. The posters look great, and I'm excited about it. What do you think?
Yeah,
man?
you already said it. Blue Ranger looks really boss laying on that Triceratops. Him and the Black Ranger, they got the best looking posters, I think, because you can actually see the face. That's what we all want to see.
Sure.
You can see the Mastodon, like the trunk there, and then the Triceratops got those, like, his horns almost look like knives. They look so
pretty cool.
sharp, and it's just
So
like,
cool.
everybody else is like, oh, here's an elbow, here's a hip. I think
Here's the
saber-tooth
hero
tiger
pose.
hip.
That
you
might
know?
that might be a tail.
That's a tail, I think.
But what about that Becky G? You know, they
Yeah.
had to get that Becky G from the side. I'm just, I don't know what that's about, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Hey,
They look good. I'm excited. I am excited.
definitely.
Anybody going to New York Comic Con?
No, I wish.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Well, if you are going to New York Comic Con, get ready for your first look at the Power Ranger movie, which we've been talking about the poster.
Yes.
You're going to be able to get your first look at the movie. It looks like they're going to be debuting the first trailer there. And I know personally that New York Comic Con is going to be a big hub for the Power Ranger movie.
Sure.
There's going to be a lot of promotion there. What else do you think we'll see there, Steven?
I really want a full look at the Zords somewhere in the trailer, most
Yes.
likely. Even if it's very brief, I would love to see just T-Rex head,
You want to see the
pterodactyl
reveal.
flying around.
Sure.
So
yeah.
I have seen 3 of the Zords already.
Oh man.
I've seen the Tyrannosaurus, the Pterodactyl, and the Triceratops.
This reaction is we can't be friends because I'm like, what?
I have seen 3 of the Zords. They look awesome.
They do.
I'm
Yeah,
so
they look
happy.
great. I think they look
Do
great.
you feel like, because right now there's a lot of comments saying that, they kind of look Transformer-ish.
Well, they do.
They do.
They do, absolutely.
But is that a bad thing?
No, I
It's
think.
not.
I mean, because listen, what would you? Me personally, I'd rather have that than taking the television show ones and putting them in a feature film.
Absolutely.
This isn't
Yeah.
gonna look good.
Yeah, I mean they've already changed the suits. It makes sense that they're going to change
Exactly.
the Zords. And I like what I've seen of the Zords so far. I like what I've seen from the Zords more than what I've seen from the suits. The suits I was kind of like, but the Zords I was like,
I will
yes,
say this.
that's
So,
exactly what I imagined.
so DJ and I both saw the suits in action,
Yes, we did.
like moving around in action
It
in a
looks
fight
good.
scene, and they look really
Okay.
good. So just keep an eye out for
All right.
that.
No, but I had that pleasant surprise kind of expression, like, oh, man, look at that actually films really well.
Yeah,
So
we
I'm
saw
really
we saw
excited.
some a little sneak peek of the footage, and it
man.
looked really good. Yeah, right.
But no, but the one thing I love about the Zords is the color. It is vibrant. It is definitely their Zords. I mean, they could have easily downplayed it, but that's a red T-Rex.
Yes.
That is a pink pterodactyl. That is a very blue Triceratops, and so forth and so forth. So very cool, very cool. Speaking of mechanics, we have an Alpha 5 for our Lionsgate movie, and it is Bill Hader. Our BB-8 is our Alpha 5. Come on, dude.
it doesn't
Yeah.
get better.
It really doesn't. Thoughts, man?
Everybody was worrying that, okay, is this going to be like a gritty movie? Is this going to be fun? Bill Hader's in the movie. This is going to be a funny movie.
Bam.
It's sealed. Like Elizabeth Banks, Bill Hader, we're going to have laughs. I'm excited now.
I
I'm not
mentioned that
worried.
actually on the news feed is that people, by casting Bill Hader, it sets the tone for what the movie is going to be. Yes, there might be some more realistic themes in there, but
Little
they're
bit serious.
definitely going to lighten it up with Bill Hader and like
sure.
Elizabeth Banks, which is really cool.
Faith restored.
Yes.
So, speaking of Alpha 5,
Coming soon from Loyal Subjects, the Alpha 5 figurine.
dope.
I'm excited about it.
Grabbing it.
Anybody that's seen those little Loyal Subject figures have to realize that they're made amazing, and they're
Yes.
great. They're just great, fun little toys.
They're so
Trinkets and
collectible, dude. Are you familiar with the loyal subjects?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're great. They have the series 1 and 2, helmetless Rangers. I'm a completionist. I'm already in it. I need my Alpha 5. So really dope as far as I'm concerned. This is more for you as far as the Boom comic books. We have a couple of variants. If you've been keeping up with the Boom comic books variants, we have the next Yukio E variant covers by Scott Wade for MMPR number 7. That's available via Dimension X. Basically going to be at New York Comic Con. It's going to be the Black Ranger cover in the Shogun Samurai style and the Goldar cover. And if you've seen it, they look great. They look amazing. But if you can't get it there, they're also going to be on eBay, the eBay store on September 26th. And they're going to be listing a set of 50. So you have chances.
And if you're a fan of collecting variant covers, then I would suggest getting these because these look pretty amazing. I know you're a fan.
Yeah,
of
we were
the
talking
covers.
about the artwork earlier, and the whole Shogun art style looks so good.
They're
To
beautiful.
have an entire set of that.
Oh, amazing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of the comic books, number 10 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from Boom Studios will have multiple covers, and it seems like the Blue Ranger's heavily featured.
Very Billy-centric. And we were talking about the variant covers. They look amazing. They really are so collectible. It's not even funny.
I will say one cover catches my eye more so than the others, and it looks like the Tengu Warriors coming down, ascending from the sky. Now, that could be very misleading, seeing as that the White Ranger has not been introduced, and we also got a White Ranger cover for issue 0, but obviously no White Ranger yet.
Right.
And we did have the cover with Rocky and Adam, looking very Double Dragon, looking very Final Fight with their back-to-back pose. So you're not really a fan service guy, man, but the covers tend to be very fan service.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I'm not a fan service guy, but when it comes to Power Ranger covers, I love artwork. I was just at the LA County Fair and I saw a big Power Ranger poster, like there was a fan poster, and I was like, dude, that's pretty sick. I kind of want to get it. Then I was like, well, I get the comic books, so that's enough for me.
Gotta love it. So the next thing from Bandai.
Right. Greg from Bandai was telling us that there are some new, pink, blue, and black.
Pink, blue, and black.
Minifigs.
Legacy figures. So
Legacy figures
basically, he
that's
just
right.
revealed we have the new packaging for it. So now we see them on hand, what they're going to look like on the shelf. So that was from Greg from Bandai. Speaking of Greg from Bandai,
You were on MMPR Toys,
I might have been on MMPR.
and there's a little bit of a debate going on.
What debate is that?
That should the burger be on hashtag Ninja Steel menu?
Absolutely not, because there is no debates, because there will be no burger in Ninja Steel. But no, all kidding aside.
Bandai wants to know. Bandai wants to know the answer if the burger should be included in Ninja Steel.
Exactly. So basically on MMPR Toys, we held a debate with myself and the Grandmaster Ranger, Daryl Williams. I say I love the Burger Morpher from the Ninja. I think it works very well for the Ninja because it was an American cowboy. It was a cowboy ranger. They sold America so hard they gave him a Burger Morpher, and he had a guitar weapon, and he had a helmet in his hat.
Like Silverhawks. Remember Silverhawks?
Yes, it was all that. And I'm so mad that you brought up Silverhawks, by the way. Like that's our age. But no, I mean, to sell an American cowboy ranger, they did everything they could to sell, including the guy taking selfies. Like, check out the Ninja just to kind of see what I'm talking about. For Ninja Steel, they've already changed the main morpher, my friend.
I know, I've seen.
So it was the sword.
Right.
They changed it to the large shuriken, the multifaceted shuriken that has, many combinations and applications as weapons. So they already changed the core. A burger? A burger?
Well, what do you think, Steven?
We're joking about ways to hide morphers and communicators in plain sight. America, burgers, you can have your morpher right here, no one would even know. You don't have to hide it behind your back. You can just have it right here.
You're a yes.
I'm gonna say yes.
I gotta get DJ's back. I'm gonna also say no. I'm not a burger morpher guy.
Let's make Power Rangers great again. Give me the Chronomorpher any day.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I'll take
the Chronomorpher any day.
Bam, see? When you put it that way, right?
That's true. Well, that's going to do it for news. This week's episode was titled Recipe for Disaster, and here's a clip.
Look who's here. It's Heckle and his motley crew.
So that's Heckle, huh?
How dare you return to my planet, Singe?
All right, let's get into the episode. First of all, I gotta ask.
Recipe for Disaster.
Recipe for Disaster. What'd you guys think?
I loved it. It was really good. Really moved the plot forward. Like as the entire season arc moved forward.
Yes.
So good, so good. I mean, it starts off with Keeper finally being the mentor. No, don't get me wrong. Keeper's had some great moments throughout the season. You know, he did Moses the Lake, and he did fight the Fury, and he does creep the hell out of
You do a great Keeper voice.
It was a wrench voice.
Oh, it was Wrench. It was Wrench. You do a great Wrench though.
Thanks. That's not happening again. Check out our other episode.
It was good. But I will say this about the start of this episode. It was my favorite start to any episode.
So strong.
From Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge.
Yeah, you were engaged from the get-go. I mean, you have the command center, you have the base. They're huddling around. You get the history of the Energems, and you find out that the 10 Energems, when they were forged, the evil residue from the 10 pure Energems created the Dark Energem, which could subdue the other 10 Energems. So that's a pretty big deal.
Now, my mind would tell me that this sets up the Talon Ranger.
It makes sense. It
What do you
makes
think?
sense.
What do you think,
I've
Steve?
heard a lot about Talon Ranger, and I've heard a lot of rumors like it might be Heckle to be the Talon
Well,
Ranger.
for those of us who don't know, who is the Talon Ranger?
The Talon Ranger is in the Kyuuger's Sentai movie, but I heard he's only in the movie though.
Correct. So he is a special, I guess, episode movie type of ranger. He's sick. He has a navy blue kind of design. He has like fangs all over his
Red sleeves, I believe.
He has red sleeves. Good call. Red sleeves. He's very aggressive. He kind of looks like Tyrannosaurus with the teeth and everything. But he's just such a badass ranger with a boomerang as a weapon. Commands the Tobo Spino, which is the Spinosaurus. He's just a really strong ranger.
Quiz DJ, is a
Quiz me.
Spinosaurus a real dinosaur?
Yes, Joe. A Spinosaurus is a real dinosaur.
Incorrect.
Is it wrong?
No, I'm just kidding. That's right.
you got me fooled there.
No, that was funny
Yeah.
from our past episodes. He didn't believe that. What was it?
Titanosaurus.
A Titanosaurus was real, and I was like, dude, it's a real thing. He's like, no, it's not. You're making that up. And I showed him. I was like, it's a real thing.
I felt like he was going to correct me, like, no, the correct answer is the Spinosaurus. Like, he's going to have some kind of inflection. It'll be like, it's not Spino, it's Spino. Like, oh,
No, he's right. It was a real dinosaur.
it doesn't matter. I don't care. Everything's fake. It's Power Rangers. Ruined your childhood. No, don't say
Back
it's not
onto
so.
this episode.
So, yes, correct. So, we get the history of the Energems, and we get to, man, this is such a villain-centric episode.
Yeah.
It's so good. So, we get Heckle being introduced to a new project from Wrench, which is the Project Fortress?
Fortress, yeah.
And this beast, this bad boy, is downloaded with all the Zord information, has everything to subdue all the Zord information. Where did we hear that before?
Where did we hear that?
Where did we get that
Where did we get that before?
And they just send some of that stuff out up to the
To some
our buddy,
person,
their buddy Silver.
The infamous Silver Ranger that sounds nothing like Ninjor. Thank you very much.
Steven, you agreed with me. He sounds somewhat a little bit like Ninja.
There's a
No,
bit
that's
there's
not
like
what you
some
said.
element of Ninjor's goofiness in there.
Are we changing it up for camera? Is
It's
that what's
true.
happening?
That's
That
what he
is
said.
not what
He
was
sounds-
said.
he sounds a
He
little
said he
bit like
sounded
Ninjor.
goofy, and I agree.
He does sound
sounds
goofy, and he sounds a little bit
does.
like Ninjor.
He doesn't sound anything. Ninjor came in on a Goku cloud and said, "Rangers,
they came-
Rangers."
They came.
I did
in-
not hear that from Silver.
They came in a little different, but he's a more subdued Ninjor.
He sounds like a
He's
superhero.
like Ninjor's little brother. Just as that.
Well, fine. He could be a relative of Ninja. We're getting off topic. Well, the point is,
he could be a
Fortress, he could be. Hey, what the twist?
Speculation.
You know?
Oh, speculation.
Speculation. You
So
never
it
know.
makes things that make you go, So this bad boy is amazing. Apparently, he's a Zord, Fortress, the new project, and it could be piloted by Heckle / Snide. So again, we got the big like, man, what we're gonna do against this this villain of the week. And then we get to Chase, and we get to Recipe for Disaster because the Dino Museum Cafe is hosting a food critic named Catherine Oliver, played by Elizabeth Hawthorne.
Before
And-
we get to Catherine Oliver,
Sure.
though, there is one thing that I thought it was brilliant the way that our monster of the week / villain, because this is the first time we ever saw something quite like this.
Yeah.
Fortress was essentially a fortress that
Yes.
could move, and it was almost like it was.
It's like a Zord Buster.
It was a Zord Buster.
A
which
Zord
was
Buster.
super cool. Good.
Yes.
I mean, that's
yes.
exactly what it was for. And you brought up a good point off screen. Is like Well, he grows. Does he have like a little?
Yeah,
like,
when he's
cockpit?
normal size, it's like a Lego cockpit in here, you know?
That's great.
And when he grows, it's like a room.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
That's what I hope.
You put your little hamster in there, and then when it grows up, it's just like, oh, damn.
Oh.
Probably should have took him out first. He's just lost in the Zord.
But yes, Catherine Oliver. Now,
Yes.
let's talk about some similarities to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, yes.
Please.
There's a lot.
Right. So Catherine Oliver. Obviously, we had Tommy Oliver and Catherine Hillard,
Ah.
food critic. Another thing that the one thing is the cake that Xander. Why was I going to say Xander?
Because he's New Zealand.
Because he's from
Yeah.
New Zealand. That Chase is trying to make is called
The
the what?
pavlova cake. The pavlova cake, which, fun fact, is named after.
Anna Pavlova, the Russian ballerina. Fun fact.
Catherine Hillard was a ballerina in a couple episodes of Turbo, and maybe Zeo. Mainly
Zio,
Turbo.
Zio.
The point is, the actress, both named Kat, both in character and by name, does ballerina. And this is the stuff that you learn in the Ranger wrap-up, my friends.
It's all connected.
All
Bam.
connected.
Gotta love it.
Not like the Marvel Cinematic
Yeah, no.
Universe. This is all connected.
We debate on that
Yeah.
all the time, man. We're not gonna go there tonight. But anyways, the food critic, Chase, is making this pavlova cake and has not been successful. He keeps making this cake. He keeps following the recipe. And I just don't know any recipe where a cake would explode, where you keep
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah, right?
Like at what point you go, it's got to be the nutmeg. Like it's got to be. That's definitely what's making this cake explode. So he keeps working on it. He keeps working on it, and then he finally gets it. He thinks, puts it in front of the food critic. Which, by the way, the food critic asked for a slice of cake. A slice of cake.
Wait, you didn't mean a whole cake?
Yeah, they bring her the whole thing.
No.
DJ, if you would ask me for a slice of cake, I'm bringing you a whole cake and your own knife to cut it with.
But you know me like that, and you know anytime I want a slice of cake, you know I meant the whole thing. Now, if a,
And your own knife to cut it.
and my own knife to cut the thing, because you know me, because we're friends. With that said, if a food critic goes to your restaurant and asks for a slice of cake, I think that person may need a slice of cake nicely presented, so you know if it's going to explode on your butt or not.
Sure.
Just a thought. So, brings the whole cake. Whole cake. The cake is not settled. The cake is making sounds. The cake is rumbling.
Gurgles, yeah.
And the cake ruptures and explodes, of course, all over the food critic. And
And her
Chase,
designer purse,
and her designer.
which is now a Pavlova purse,
Yes.
as Coda says. Line of the
Yes.
episode, right there.
That was
there,
the line of
there was
it.
there was an amazing line from Catherine. So harsh, so harsh. After the cake explodes, turns to Chase and says, "And you call yourself a New Zealander?"
Daggers. Daggers.
Cake need redemption at this point. So anyway, so that's what happens, and then we get to the meat. We get to the meat.
And
which-
potatoes. Ooh,
and
food
potatoes.
reference.
As a food episode. But we get to a new baddie, a big baddie that not only did Sledge from the first season of Dino Charge before the Super, that Sledge worked for, that Sledge was afraid of, and he's kind of like the emperor behind the scenes. He's just
Now,
that guy.
Let me talk to you guys about this for a second, because
Talk to
this
us.
is something that I've enjoyed this whole season, is that the villains in the season have been so strong.
So dang
And I think it's
So dang
it's almost like a great callback to when we had the cool, like, bad Lord Zed.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
the real Lord Zed.
Lord
Or
Zed,
Master
yeah.
Vile.
Yeah.
Or kind of like these overarching villains that were just like, wow, this is like what a
Yeah.
Like, I love the Ecliptor for the same exact
Clipper
reason.
was so good.
And
Clipper was so good.
like, it's not the goofy villains anymore that are just like, oh, I'm the bumbling guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like, now we're actually getting like real villains.
Yeah. And
Another-
seeing them fight makes the stakes
yeah,
and
stakes
the
higher.
tension. You get it's like when Lord Zed and Ivan Ooze fought.
Yes.
And it was a very one-sided fight. You go, oh,
All 1 second of that
I gotta
fight.
be afraid of this guy.
All 1 second of that conflict before Snow Globe.
Yeah.
But no, another Ranger series that comes to mind with this is Operation Overdrive, I believe, which had a whole bunch of baddies, but they weren't effective baddies. They were just kind of there. They weren't as interesting, but every single baddie that's been introduced in Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge has been interesting. They've been strong. Okay, so you got this new baddie, Arcanon, accompanied by Doomwing. We see Singe comes back because he's been outed as a traitor. And the face-off between him and Heckle and Snide is epic.
Well, and Arcanon seems like a scary actual villain.
Yeah,
It's not just like I said, like one of those goofy villains that you would see.
Yeah.
And I really
Absolutely.
like the It's almost like a video game where you beat one boss, and you get to the next boss.
Yeah.
You beat that boss, you're like, oh, the game's over. Nope, you got another
One
boss.
more.
Nope.
So this is very interesting. It's the layers and layers, and it makes sense because as more time passes throughout the season, the more Rangers we're getting.
Sure.
So the stronger the
And we got
villains
more
are gonna
bad
be,
guys.
and we got more bad guys.
Sure.
Which I love. I think this is a brilliantly
good.
thought out season.
And it's so, I mean, we can go into this like way too far, so I'm not going to, but it's so different from Kyoryuger and the way they use those suits in Kyoryuger and who they were in Kyoryuger. Dino Charge just continues to one up and one up and one up. Yes. So really interesting to see them like face off. So this set, the new Arcanon, Doomwing, and Singe faces off against Heckle and Snide. Snide takes over Heckle, and man, he goes in. Yeah. Snide goes in. He goes into Fortress. They have a big Megazord fight, and dude, this is so well done because all original cockpit footage in both the Megazords and Fortress's Zord, because this didn't happen in Kyoryuger. It did not. It was really interesting to know that Arcanon can control the Zords now.
Yep.
Snide might be one of my favorite villains, with the exception of the name being Snide.
Dude, Snide is for sure now for me.
The way he snaps at Arcanon really establishes his villainness, because you have so many villains that might make a joke or let their henchmen. You know, he's got his henchmen there right with him, but no, he snaps. He goes boom. They get into their stalemate, go right into the fight.
Right into
Calls
the
for
fight.
the Magna Beam right then and there.
Dude, that was so good. That's such a great call. So they get into the whole Zord battle. It's Arcanon versus Snide, and both of them are so strong. Yes. And the fact is, I mean, it seemed one-sided because it was 3 versus 1. But Snide with Fortress, he was doing Zord Buster.
Yeah,
That's what you say. And
Hashtag Zord Buster.
Hashtag Zord Buster, and they're going at it, and it's such a war down. It's great. So we cut back to Chase. Chase is missing his Energem. Holy crap! What happened to the Energem? You gotta love the fact that he dropped the Energem in his cake.
You know what I do like though is the fact that this season hasn't lost sight of that. That the most important thing about this whole season is the Energems.
Yes.
And not every episode, but most episodes are about that plot line.
Yeah.
Keeping the Energem. Where's the Energem? I love the fact that that's always been the goal for the villains is to get these Energems. And to lose an Energem in such a goofy, dumb manner is like a bonehead thing, but like he understands it's a big deal, but he tries to be the cool guy and plays it up like, I'll be right back, I know where it's at. Yeah. And you could tell Kendall's like, this idiot.
Yeah. Oh, especially since right beforehand he was trying to make a cake in the command center, and she was really happy about that.
Right.
Fact. So anyways, I love the way it played off because he approaches the critic smoothly, like you said, talks to the critic. Can I check your handbag? I think the thing that I dropped while I was making your cake, which makes you not want to eat anything I baked for you ever again, by the way, I think it might be in your purse. And she, I don't know about you, but have you ever asked to check a girl's purse?
Never.
Yeah.
That's something you don't do.
She just lets him go right in it. Like,
did not care.
He could take your money right now. He could just run off. And
that's a great point.
You know?
Literally, can I see your purse? Thank you.
Yeah, no, he could have took the whole thing. Did she just hand it to him, or did she?
She was handing it to him as she was lecturing him.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Point is, he could have ran off with a lot of stuff right there.
Didn't even know. Not to mention, you just got done putting him down for a cake that exploded. You know, you might want to get a little bit of
maybe don't
revenge.
trust that guy.
You know. So in any case, checks the purse, gets the Energem, resolved right away. They didn't drag it out. She wasn't completely difficult about it. But the Zord battle's happening. Rubble is happening. Rubble is falling onto the critic and Chase. Chase saves her.
Yes.
Chase saves her. And this is where we get to the big moral of today's episode, which is, she's saved. Now he's earned her respect. So she's like, you know what? I don't know what's happening, but let me give you some cake advice in the meantime.
Yeah. There's a monster. There's a Zord battle happening right here. But if you really want to improve your recipe,
there's technically 2 morals in this episode because this follows up from the last episode we had, which is don't so freely trust people. It's not necessarily because they gave all that information to the Silver Ranger.
Oh, got it.
And now look what's happening.
Sure. So she gives the advice to not do the same thing. If the first time you're doing something it doesn't work and you keep doing it and it doesn't work, you may want to mix it up.
Yes.
You got to follow your Kiwi intuition.
Kiwi intuition.
So, or is it ingenuity? Either way.
One of them. I didn't expect that to be like the lesson for the Ranger
neither
battle.
did I.
I thought that was just going to be like, oh well, he'll learn to make his cake because that was important to him. Okay, good for Chase. But no, that was like, no, we need to mix up these.
But what's
these
really cool
Zords.
about it is it didn't stray away from, because here's the thing, this is a cool episode at this point.
Yes.
We're seeing villains going against villains. We're seeing villains in Ranger cockpits. I still love that.
We're seeing a three-way fight essentially.
We are seeing a three-way fight,
which is
exactly.
really so cool in Power Rangers.
So great. And the villains are so good, and they're not like, it's not like a goofy villain versus another. It's like this is a power struggle. A very power struggle showdown with the Zords. So they're fighting. Chase joins the battle. Well, not really, because the Rangers aren't. Oh, that's the other thing too. The Rangers can't really join in because they don't have control over their Zords. Lord Arcanon has found a way to completely take over their Zords where they can't really do anything about it. Okay? So they're fighting, and then finally, actually, Snide gets the upper hand. Snide drives them away. Snide drives Lord Arcanon away, driving the Dino Charge Zord. So the Zords are on the ground. Lord Arcanon retreats. Snide, just being the boss villain that he is, decides, you know what? They're down. Let me finish this off. Let me destroy these Zords. What did the Rangers do? Take it back over. They jump in their Zord cockpits.
So when they, well, I guess we'll get there about the.
No, sure. No, do it.
We do get a new Megazord.
We do have a new formation. Because of the advice.
Yes, and I do love that cockpit more so. I know people are like, oh, it's the same cockpit, but all the dinosaurs in the background,
Yes.
I loved seeing that.
The Titano Charge Ultra Zord.
Yeah.
You know, dude, what did you think about the Ultra Zord, man?
I love that we've had 3 series of dino-themed Power Rangers and the Ultra Zords. There's always some sort of Titanosaurus, long-necked dinosaur, and I was happy to see a Titano Ultra
The
Zord.
Titanosaurus is a real dinosaur, by the way.
Titanosaurus is a real dinosaur.
Thanks. Shout out to Joe for letting me know that.
And it's about time we got.
I'm
an
like a
Ultra Zord,
paleontologist. I'm like a doctor.
He is Dr. O.
The one that you would never expect to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Hey, just like Tommy, you would never expect that the guy, forgetful Sixth Ranger, mystery guy, would ever be a Dr. O.
Yeah.
Fun fact. So, anyways, the Rangers go back. They take over the Zords. They're now in it, but they're not being effective. So they form the Titano Charge Ultra Zord. Now, this is what Joe was talking about. All the other Zords come from like a mountain, an ice cavern, somewhere where things aren't going to really get wrecked. The Titano Zord comes from downtown pavement. It literally comes from the street, and the first thing you see is like a Subaru, like bandit knocked over.
Yeah, right?
Like I was watching it with our producer JD, and the first thing he said was, "How much damage did that just cause?"
So, yeah, I love the foresight that goes into that. I will say, though, and DJ, you know that I'm not the biggest mech fight guy.
No.
But I loved this one.
Sure.
Yeah.
So cool.
What's not to love, though?
Yeah.
Like, what's not to
Good
love?
design. Great design, actually.
Dude,
A lot of Ultra Zords are clunky, but this one doesn't look.
it's huge.
It's huge,
Yeah.
but it's functional. Some Ultra Zords are like, all right, well, let's just stack 3 Zords on the shoulders.
Okay, you know what?
This one is like, no, this is a cannon, and he's got like platforms. He's huge.
Dude,
He's
you
huge.
He does.
Like,
Yeah, that's so, dude,
he
that's
does.
so real.
That's what it is. Like,
Speaking of-
it went under the feet. Like his feet have shoes, but they're like
Yes.
they're Zord shoes. They're huge.
They're Zord shoes. Nike, get your game on point because
Yeah.
we need them new Jordan Titanos.
Why has no one made a saber-toothed tiger triceratops pair of shoes yet?
I was
Actually,
thinking about
there's a
that. How
few.
come there's not like Chucks, or those like
Oh, you mean
Vans?
with like the whole design?
That'd be
Not-
so cool. Like
Yeah,
Vans
yeah,
that are like,
yeah.
I'm
We
into that.
have some pretty talented people out there in the Ranger fandom. You know, they
Yeah.
make like Chucks and that,
Some
but
on
not,
Etsy.
but not to the full.
Yeah.
If you want to make me any Vans of the Zords any Zord Vans, I'm in. I'll wear them.
He wouldn't argue with you. First of all, by the way, Thunder Ultra Zord, worst Ultra Zord ever.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's the one where you stacked on stacked on stacked.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Ultra Zord, Titano Charge Ultra Zord is a beast. I love that Heckle takes back control from Snide and is like, you got to be adaptable to fight these Rangers, and gets wrecked.
Yes.
Gets completely wrecked. So the Rangers defeat Fortress because they mixed it up, which is great. They get back to the Dino Cafe. Chase makes another pavlova cake. It's successful. She cuts her own slice again. Really weird.
She ate a lot of it too. By the way.
She
She loves that pavlova cake.
She's a food critic for a reason.
Yeah,
you know.
she's-
So we get back to the command center. Oh, and Snide is captured by Arcanon.
Okay,
Right.
let's talk about this for
Let's
a
talk
second,
about
because
it, right.
we're essentially finding Snide where
He began.
we found him. Yeah, he's where we found him, essentially.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I think that's kind of cool. And you have to assume, at least I have to assume, that he's not staying there forever.
No.
Because Snide is a resourceful villain, which I love. He's a villain that's always thinking, and I love that also in the episode where he's introduced, they're almost like everyone's almost bowing down to him because they know how bad he is.
Yes.
And I love the fact that you know that he's getting out of there. So it's almost Power Rangers did something very interesting this week. They made me want to see Snide get a return and get one up on these guys and then go on a fight. So they built up this villain.
You're rooting for a bad guy at this point.
Absolutely.
It makes it so interesting. Yeah.
I love it.
So Sledge's ship has been owned and re-owned a few times throughout the season. Snide, Heckle's been captive. Arcanon's the big baddie now. He's the big boss on the block. And we kind of get the impression that he has something in his book that he opens up, and it might be the Dark Energem, which was kept on planet Sentai 6.
We didn't even talk about that.
Sentai 6, people.
Wonder where they got that name.
That is so original and so just... Man, the creative juices were flowing.
I will say though, that's a cool like callback though. I mean, a cool like.
Is it really?
Like a cool reference. I think
Is it?
Was there like a van in RPM that they called
They
Go
called
Launcher?
Go
And they're like,
yeah.
oh no, it abbreviates for something.
Project, and they actually did give da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Go Andre.
I think that's a cool callback though.
It's a nice nod. It's a nice nod. If you didn't know what it was like Sentai 6. If you did follow Sentai, the Japanese equivalent to Power Rangers, you're like, Sentai 6.
I was making a smoothie this morning.
I see what you did.
And I had the banana, I put it in, and then I started up.
Wait, do it again?
I was making a smoothie, and I just put it up, and I had it, and then I just heard Sentai. I was like, wait, what did they say?
He held his banana. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's to me, I love that stuff. I love that stuff.
I think it's great.
I'm a sucker for that stuff.
Sure.
It just shows that it's paying homage to what Power Rangers was kind of like. I wouldn't even say that it's based on anymore because they're completely different things now.
Very different.
But it's definitely pays homage to what the original series is.
Yeah, sure.
Which I think is pretty cool.
No, absolutely. So that's a recipe for disaster. So Chase is a good cook again. He gets the approval.
Oh, one last thing though that we didn't mention is that now that they know that they almost feel like they were set up by the Silver Ranger. But they have to assume now that he was captured.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love
Done
that
against his
logic.
will.
That
They
chain
gave
of logic.
credibility. They gave credibility because I thought they were going to keep leaving it as a cliffhanger, which is like, oh, Silver Ranger's like, no, or he
He's
got
been defeated.
captive, or he was captured.
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever.
Which, either way, though, I think that you're right. The logic that they used to get there.
Yeah, he has to be good. He has an Energem. As far as they know, could be a guy in a suit.
Could be, but
Could just be a
even
guy in a
Kendall
suit.
says that it wouldn't have bonded with somebody evil.
Yeah.
So
That's
he
a
has to
great
be
point.
captured.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but you're right. The logic making is great.
Yes.
They're not treating their audience stupid. They are explaining, and they're taking the time to explain plot points. They're taking the time to give the villain's backstory, how Sledge used to work for Arcanon, how scary he is, and just everything about it comes full circle.
Yes.
It's definitely coming full circle. So that's today's episode.
Yeah.
Steven, let's start with you. Let's rank give this episode some hashtags. If you
Hashtags. Hashtag makes it up.
Well, I mean,
So if you had to rate it
let's-
between 1 to 5 hashtags, what would you rate this episode?
Oh, okay, I'd give it 4 hashtags.
4 hashtags. a
Really
solid
solid.
four.
It's not quite like season finale is usually where I keep my 5s.
Yeah.
Or like those like really suspenseful ones, but this was a super solid episode. Moved everything forward. Good pacing.
Sure,
4 out of 5.
Sure. Joe?
4.5 out of 5, and here's my reason.
Please.
The 4.5 comes from the simple fact that everything in this episode, like you said, was done to move the plot forward.
Sure.
A few episodes back, the last couple of episodes, I've always said that, well, there's been only items that have moved the plot forward, but overall, the episodes felt like fillers. This did not feel like a filler.
Not at all.
And it was like all those episodes were great palate cleansers. So when I
Yes.
got to this one, which was like a main course,
Yeah.
and I loved it. I devoured it, and I want more now.
Like a pavlova cake.
Like a pavlova
Yeah.
cake. So we
Gonna
brought
need
that
to
all
make a lot
around.
more of
We're
those.
doing a lot of food references in this episode. I love
It's a
it.
great episode.
Power Rangers Food Force.
Thank you.
Burger Morphers. Let's do it.
Oh,
Burgosaurus! What was the hot dog? I forgot what
It was
they called
Dogosaurus.
Dogosaurus.
Very original. Dogosaurus.
DJ.
Yes, sir. You know what, man? I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5.
Nice.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5. And quickly, here's my reason. It was a fresh episode. It was an original episode. I mean, I appreciate it deeper because I know the Kyoryuger references and what footage is original and what's not. I thought it was creative. I thought it was smart. I thought it was effective. And I was thoroughly entertained. Like, the Power Rangers were not really highlighted in this episode. The cake was, the incident was. Sure. But the Power Rangers, it really wasn't a Ranger-centric episode. It was villains versus villains to who's going to be the big
And
villain.
I can't even think of the last time we even had something like that.
Yeah.
I think Operation Overdrive, but even then, like,
maybe,
not
yeah.
like this.
Yeah,
not
this
like
has a
this.
hierarchy of villains. Like this guy's trying to
And
fight
like
this
you
guy.
said, there's stakes.
Yeah.
There
There's
was stakes in this
stakes.
episode, which
Yeah.
I
Good
thought
call.
Yeah,
So
where's
I'm gonna
Overkill?
give it a 5. All right, guys. As you know, every episode we have our top list for that episode. And today, since it was so focused on combinations and Zord fights, and we had such an epic thing with the combinations in the Zord fights, today's episode is top Zord combinations. And Steven, since you're our guest, it's gonna be all you, man. What is your top 5 Zord combination list?
All right, let's start with number 5. You have to have the RPM Ultra Zord right here. It was so satisfying. Like they really wrote in all the intros for the Zords really well, and
Yes.
different Rangers coming in very slowly, kind of. So to finally see everything link up all at once, it felt like it was the right time to do it when it did, and it was so satisfying to see it too. Because they essentially had 3 Megazords that would group up into
we
one.
always talk about RPM being one of so
All
I'm glad you mentioned
Yeah,
it,
no.
not us.
Yeah,
It's
right.
good.
Unbiased
That's really
opinion, by the
good.
way. Unbiased. And I think that was our first cluster Zord. Like,
Yeah.
that was our first cluster holy Zord.
Yeah, that one did have like, okay, Zords on shoulders, but writing wise, it felt like,
It was,
I think it had like helicopter wings, like from the whale Zord. I don't know, but I liked it.
whales.
You remember? It was like
No,
a
you're
whale.
right,
It
you're
was a
right.
whale.
All right, number 4.
Number 4, the Turbo. You only see it once. The Turbo Rescue Ultra Zord. When
Yes.
they swap out the
Good call.
the red and blue Zords from the Turbo Megazord
Sure.
with appendages from the Rescue Megazord because it's just all cannons.
I'm a big fan of that episode because the
Okay.
Phantom
Very
Ranger was
cool.
in the
That's
Rescue
right.
Zords.
That's right.
He's a big fan, Ranger fan.
And it's a shame we only saw that once because I thought it was such a cool concept.
Yeah, true.
Number 3.
Number 3, the Time Shadow. I think it's just a Megazord in Time Force,
Sure.
but it was really cool because since the regular Time Force Megazord had a red mode and a blue mode, Time Shadow similarly had a red mode and blue mode, and they could really mix it up with that combo. Same Zords, different configurations.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great choice.
Number 2.
Number 2, Pyramidus Zeo Ultra Zord. You gotta have that.
Beast.
I
thing's
loved
huge.
Pyramidus.
Everything gold with Zero Ranger is
Yeah.
always good.
Yeah. That thing towers over any monster. It only failed once. Only that one time against that purse monster, but still, every time it was so epic.
It did fail.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Curse Monster!
that was
First
great.
monster.
That was the team up
The
episode
crossover.
with
Yeah.
the
Alien
Avatar
Rangers.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a good.
And our number 1 top Zord.
Gotta go classic Mighty Morphin Titanus Ultra Zord.
Ultra Zord.
The
Yeah.
intro to it. What was the episode? Gung Ho, where they get it.
Yeah.
Good job.
But
Yeah.
every time they bring it out, the music's in full gear. Everything, the video, the music, everything just
Bring out
comes together
Titanus.
perfect. Yeah, comes out of the mists.
Bust through the rocks.
Bust through
How
the
epic
rocks.
was that scene though? Seeing Titanus just like carry the
Yeah.
Megazord.
The first time they used it, I remember Island of Illusion. They're fighting Lokar.
Lokar.
Lokar up. That thing's huge. Nothing's working. Then, like when they call Titanus, you just see like that little bit of his eye and just looks over like, "What's that?" It's the one thing that can take him out.
It's a great list.
Yeah.
What was the name of that little creature on that episode? Islands of Illusion.
Oh, the
Quagmire.
Quagmire.
He's always rhyming.
How come we don't see Quagmire at conventions?
Quagmire's got to be the Silver Ranger, guys.
That's
I don't know.
spoiler alert. Sorry, we usually screen
shouldn't
that kind
have
of
let
stuff.
that
We
out,
usually
I'm sorry.
we usually screen that kind of stuff. We're so sorry.
Sorry.
Rangers!
He doesn't sound like anything like Ninjor. He doesn't.
Let's get to your questions and comments. All right, let's get to your questions and comments. Andrew Suarez is up first. I agree with DJ. The Silver Ranger doesn't sound like Ninja.
Oh!
He sounds more like Imperius from Mystic Force, but in a hero tone voice.
Agreed on all accounts.
Can't say I agree.
Well, you know.
All right, next up, Jimmy is a Geek says, red, white, and pink Funko Pops are only expensive since they came before Pops were as popular as they are now. They were retired pretty quickly.
You gotta get them while they're hot.
Yep.
All right, so we got Blackwing 2040. Thanks for the support, guys. If you ever want to meet me at a convention, I'll be at NYCC. Appreciate the love. I'm surprised to hear about all the recastings. What he's referring to is the fact that, you know, it's hard to be a Ranger fan sometimes because there's not a lot of acceptance sometimes. But be true to who you are. Be yourself. Like what you like.
And Blackwing 2040, if you're at NYCC, record that Power Ranger movie panel for us, and we'll put it right here on the show.
Hey, bam, straight invitation from the man himself. So his top 5 what ifs is number 5, the Green Ranger's powers were never destroyed. What if that would have happened? Okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, he would have had to stay on the show. No White Ranger, maybe? What? Number 4, the Ninja Rangers and Thunder Rangers have a tournament with their students. All right. Number 3, Jen decides to stay in the past with Wes, and they have a family. Okay, once again, that'd be kind of weird because she was engaged to his great-great-great-great-great-grandson, and I'm assuming they bow chicka wow a little bit, but maybe not because it's Rangers. All right. Number 2, the Wild Force Rangers have a reunion back on Animaria. Okay, yeah. Good old reunion.
Get their jackets back.
Ha, love it. And our number 1 what ifs from Blackwing is the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers have a reunion back at Angel Grove.
Ooh, the 20-year high school reunion has to be coming up soon,
coming
right?
up. It would be next year.
The only one
it would be next year.
the only one we'd be missing is, of course, rest in peace to the lovely Tui Chong. Okay.
All right. Well, Selena Gomez fan 10001 about recasting Anna Marie Crouch wasn't originally cast as Princess Shyla in Wild Force, and Ciara Hanna actually auditioned for Samurai Yellow, which is true. Actually, it was Samurai Pink. She got the part, but turned it down due to her personality not matching the character of Emily. Oh, I didn't know about that. If that is a little annotation to that story, I didn't know.
Oh, a little tidbit.
As far as what ifs, if I have some that I thought off the top of my head. Number 5, what if Ecliptor had been purified by the Z-Wave in Countdown to Destruction?
You know what? I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because Ecliptor has such a strong personality.
Yeah.
I know, that would have been pretty cool. I would have loved to have seen that too. What if SPD Boom didn't flunk out of the Academy and actually became the first ever Orange Ranger? With TQger, we could have seen an actual Orange Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
What if Spencer the...
Oh, that's right.
Oh, this one, I'm glad you asked this question. What if Spencer the Butler, the mentor in Overdrive, I'm assuming, what if he didn't die?
Because... No, the Butler from Overdrive.
Oh, Overdrive.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you think about
okay,
RPM.
I'm thinking RPM. Andrew Hatfield was the worst mentor of Power Rangers ever, in my opinion. No worse than Willard Dax.
Because Overdrive is terrible.
It has some redeeming quality.
It has once a Ranger.
Yeah, no.
It had once a Ranger.
Yes, absolutely. Outside of that, it's terrible.
I don't know.
I like the suits. I like the suits.
I like the suits too.
Suits are great.
What if the original Time Force Red Alex went with the other Rangers to stop Rancic? Would he and Jen have officially married after
That's
that?
a good point.
That's a great
That's a good point.
Which kind of...
I would say yes. I would say yes.
so.
I would say yes too. And what if the Spirit Rangers were involved in the legendary battle? Do you think we would have Spirit Ranger keys in Super Mega Force? Dude, seriously, Spirit Ranger keys would be pretty cool.
I was talking to Greg from Bandai about that too.
Any news?
We're talking.
P.S. Despite my YouTube name, I'm also a Power Rangers fan, as you can tell by my profile pic. Well, we like Selena Gomez, so
We do love Selena Gomez. Hey.
All right.
So Cass.
All right. Cass Caton, I completely agree with the whole don't be a closeted fan. I've been a fan of the show since it came out. I hit it through middle school, high school, and actually fell out of the fandom. Nowadays, I let my nerd flag fly, and I'm much happier with myself. My friends have really embraced it. You wouldn't believe how much stuff I get tagged in on Facebook and how many snaps, pictures, and messages I get sent. Pretty much every time one of my friends sees something Rangers related, they instantly think of me, which is amazing in my eyes. Be true to yourself. Love the work you guys are doing. Keep it up. If I'm ever in the LA area, I'll take you guys up on that offer to get some beers and nerd out.
Definitely.
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
dude, listen, let's do it right now. If all of us Ranger fans in the LA area want to go out for a Ranger night for beer, just
Let's make it
geeking out,
happen.
let's make it happen. I think that would be so cool. It'd be our own mini Morphicon.
Yeah.
Actually, Cass was at our hashtag after party
Yeah, he was.
at Power
Was he?
Morphicon.
Okay.
So we had a hashtag after party at Barney's Beanery in Pasadena. He was there. So let's do it again. Everyone's invited. Ranger up. Let's geek out.
And you know what? We'll even go one better. We'll try to get some of the Rangers there too, just like we did at that party.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
That was
talking
pretty
about.
cool.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, cool. So next, Ranger fan 18980. I agree with Blackwing 2040. It is hard to talk about it with other people. I have been a PR fan since now. I will always love the show until I die. By the way, I saw you guys at PMC 2016. Oh, dude.
Should have stopped by and said hi.
No.
Or if you did,
If you did, remind us, please.
I mean, I guess he just did, but
Because there was so many. Yeah, I guess so. But there were so many people. Power Morphicon, such a good time.
yeah.
All right, Ryan Bruida. Hey guys, Ryan again from the Ranger Live Chat, which is a great
Ranger Live Chat.
They're on Facebook. They do this live chat about Power Rangers. It's amazing. Go
They're
check
awesome.
them out.
They're awesome.
Hope you're doing awesome. Nice impression of the Silver Ranger, Joe. Oh, thank you. The Silver Ranger, not Ninjor. Oh, and DJ, I just watched your debut debate video with Daryl on the Burger Morpher from MMPR Toys. Go check that out, by the way. It's great. I agree with you. Burgers belong in our stomachs, not on our morphers. Ha ha ha. And we agree. Sorry, Steven.
What if they actually brought Bulk back to be that Ranger?
That would be great.
Then
Like
it should be
Ramirez,
a
kind of
Burger
like how
Morpher.
Ramirez.
Funky Don!
Funky Don.
Come on!
Yes, it's also kind of sad that Chance is no longer on Power Rangers, but I really hope they could bring him back as a Ranger in future seasons.
I hope so, too.
I was also hoping he could come back as the Gold Ninja Steel Ranger. Still wishing good luck on our new Power Ranger, Nico Greetham. Good luck, Nico, as we said before. Like, we're fully embracing him into the Power
Absolutely.
Ranger family. Did you know that he's half Colombian, by the way?
I did not.
I'm excited.
Whoa!
I'm half Colombian.
Are you?
So
Whoa!
I don't think there's ever been a Colombian. Not that I can think of.
Yeah, not that I can
Ranger.
think of either.
So still pretty diversified.
Still pretty diversified, yeah. So, I mean,
And
Good
shout
luck.
out to Chance as well. And one thing I love
Yeah.
about that comment is it's positive.
Yeah.
It's where it needs
To
to
everybody.
be. And it's very just nurturing and supportive.
Oh, finally, what do you think of the new movie, Zord posters, and Bill Hader's Alpha 5? Keep up the good work. Much love. And we talked about that at the beginning of the episode.
Yes.
So those are our thoughts.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
You were up.
All right, Abby. Oh, I hope I pronounced it right. Abby Stike.
Stage.
Abby Stage. Joe, I just got the rest of the comics. You would be so proud of me. Still
I
on the
am.
fence about getting the Red Pop Funko. It's hella expensive.
You know what? Stick with the comics. You're doing just fine. You've read them.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
So
and
good.
you're even a little bit ahead of I
Yeah,
am.
I've read 7. I've read all of them. I've read 7 twice. They're so good.
Man,
I don't
I have
want
to
to
pick up
spoil.
7.
it,
Why are you
so
bragging that you
gotta-
read it twice?
I got to pick up 7
Only
today.
because it was that good. Like
Oh,
the
that's-
next day, I
that's
was like,
fair.
I got it.
Totally
Details.
fair.
Check
Totally
the details.
fair. So we got 10 Danny Lou. LOL. It is Danny Lou.
Good
and
job,
I'm a
BJ. You
she.
cut that.
Oh, okay, cool. And she loves the show. Thank you so much, Danny. So the way Joe pronounces your name is Tendanaliu.
That's how I can say.
Pretty great.
Hey guys, I like the channel. Keep up the good work. And DJ, you cracked me up on Bruno's MMPR Toy channel
Oh,
on the Burger Morpher debate.
Thank you, thank you.
I have 2 questions. Number 1.
Sure.
Sabanj skipped over some of the Super Sentai series to adapt.
Yeah.
What do you guys think they should adapt? I wish they could adapt Go Buster.
Yeah.
Even April fooled us. Damn you, Saban, LOL. And do you think Power Rangers Ninja Storm would make a cameo on Ninja Steel for some little training ninja skills to use them?
Okay, so number 1, if you don't mind, I wanted to see Go Busters. I really wanted to see Go Busters.
I
I
agree.
love the spy theme. It was very Kamen Rider meets Super Sentai, and the designs were dope. The Zords were dope. It had so many applications. The only thing it did not have, because Power Rangers is toys, and so is Sentai, of course, it didn't have a gimmick. It did not have a Ranger key. It did not have a charger. So I would love to see Go Busters get adapted.
You know, speaking of that, it's great because our producer JD has a great idea to adapt Go Busters actually.
He's
And
told me, yes.
legitimately, we would be walking because this was maybe a week after Morphicon this year. We got so nostalgia. We got the what is it called? The con. The
post-con.
Con withdrawal. We got con
Yeah.
withdrawal. We drove out to Pasadena and literally walked around the convention center. This is like 3 in the morning. It might have been like 2 in the morning.
And
Walked around the convention center just talking about Power Rangers for like 3 hours.
That's awesome.
And I love doing that stuff. So when you hear the genuineness on this show,
awesome.
this is exact. Like me and DJ were up one night just talking for like 3 hours.
One
about
night?
Power Rangers. It's been a few nights.
Yeah.
we've done
One
that.
night? No,
so
dude,
Steven,
it's
good
like-
luck. You're going to be in this club now. Where we're
All
just
right,
gonna
okay,
talk
I'm
Power
in.
Rangers all the time.
No, if you have work, you're fired.
Yeah.
Like,
You're not waking up.
don't even think about going to work.
We love talking about Power Rangers, and the great thing is the what ifs. And something you had mentioned off camera when you and I were talking was about the comic books. That
Yeah.
we can go and explore these what ifs almost, and
Yeah.
explore some of these things that we've never seen yet.
Yeah.
Sure,
which I love.
So number 2, do we think that Ninja Storm and Ninja Steel will do some type of crossover? Probably not. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think so. But I mean, the actors from Ninja Storm, they're busy.
Yes.
I know Pua, who played Shane, and Sally Martin, who played Tori. They're on a soap opera in New Zealand called Short Street. Yeah, Short Street, and so they're staying busy. And I know Glenn McMillan became a lawyer. Actually, does motocross. I think
really?
I think he takes up just like his character, and took up Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but he still acts as well. So they're staying busy.
Do you think that the show got him into motocross, or he was already a motor? That's really interesting.
Honestly, I don't know, but if I had to guess, I would say the show got him.
That's
into
pretty
motocross.
cool. I did not know
And
that.
I'm pretty sure he lives in Brazil too, so he'd be hard to get.
Oh,
Fun.
He's
you
been showing
learning
up a lot more on social media lately. And
fun facts
yeah.
here on the Ranger wrap up.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, you're up.
Lance Miller.
All right, Lance Mealer, Ranger Wrap-Up is probably my favorite thing that you guys do now. It's very chill
Thank
and
you.
reminds me of my college days when I discussed this stuff with some guys in a chill setting.
By the way, Lance, shout out to you. Lance is a good buddy of mine. He runs the More Phenomenal Power Ranger fan page.
Oh,
He's a really good dude. We
very
talk
cool.
Rangers. He's a super cool dude. Go check out More Phenomenal on Facebook. Go give him a like. They always have great Power Ranger stuff, giveaways. Check them out.
Awesome, awesome.
All right, now to touch on some stuff. I have another interesting thing about Yellow Rangers. The only other time that there has only been one Caucasian person on the core team of 5 was the Yellow Ranger Taylor from Wild Force and the Yellow Ranger Chip in Mystic Force. Yeah, that's right. I feel TJ was stronger as a Blue Ranger than he was as a Red Ranger. I loved him as Red, but still. 3, I'm glad things didn't work out for Cassie being Pink Lost Galaxy. Wrapping up Caron's story like that was one of the greatest things the show has ever done. I agree.
Would have been
Totally
interesting.
agree.
Would have been
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm with a lot of people in wishing that Bulk had been in the Aqua Dyna Charge Ranger. I mentioned that because you guys talked about Ramirez and what could have been, regardless of Bulk being a Ranger, was never even rumored. 5, I wrote a fan fiction that explained Billy becoming the Phantom Ranger, regardless of the fact that everyone knows that Chiplin is really the Phantom Ranger.
I'm really the Phantom Ranger.
Oh,
True story.
LOL. Anyway, my explanation was that Ruby not only kept him alive, but also kept him from going back to extreme aging. That would make sense.
Would make sense.
Yeah.
So Tom Craven, his top 5 what ifs. Number 5, what if the MNPR Rangers caught up with the White Ranger and got the Die Ranger powers?
No,
In
that's
hindsight, yeah.
That's super interesting because I've talked about that with one of our producers like time after time. That's a really interesting idea, by the way.
I think that, honestly, everything's 2020 in hindsight. I'll just say this. I thought it was an opportunity when they transferred the powers to Aisha, Rocky, and Adam. I thought that would have been perfect to, make the costume switch.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4, what if the senseis actually morphed into the Spirit Rangers in Jungle Fury? Understood, because the senseis kind of controlled them via sensory.
Yeah, I found that was kind of implied. Obviously, Spirit Rangers.
Yeah.
It was a little implied.
But it would have been cool to see like a more
Absolutely,
sequence.
yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
sure. So number 3, what if Beetleborgs did a crossover with Power Rangers? Well, they kind of did in Forever Red. The big,
Oh yeah.
the Ventrix, which again,
Venjix.
Venjix, sorry, was fan
Alternate
theory
universe.
that might have been part of RPM's Venjix. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good fan theory.
All right, so number 2, what if the Cycle Rangers had a morphing sequence and had human actors? I would have loved
So would I.
that.
Didn't they actually have they turned into humans at one point?
Three
They
of
had
them
human
did.
forms.
Three
They
of
had
them
human
only, though,
forms,
right?
but we didn't see a morphing sequence.
Yeah.
And what would their morphers be? Something to think about.
So cool.
Number 1, again, what if Billy was the Phantom Ranger? Can't, because Joe's the Phantom Ranger.
True that.
So,
Edward Sanchez. my
hashtag
favorite.
Edward Sanchez approved.
Hashtag Edward Sanchez approved. Joe, your impression of the Silver Ranger is so funny, and I have a feeling that the Silver Ranger is hiding something. The Silver Ranger, not Ninja or DJ. Thank you very much. Thank
I was going to argue again.
you. you were up.
All right, Blackwing 2040. Comment. Thanks for the support, guys. If you want to meet me at a convention, I'll be at NYCC. I appreciate the love.
Oh, yeah,
that's
I
a repeat.
think
That's
a
that,
comment.
that's a repeat. That's my bad. I'll totally take responsibility for that.
So, we got through it. Rangers, we did it! Thanks for watching, and Steven, thanks for joining us. Where can we find you on the social media?
It's great being here. You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/hyperdrivepics. Same thing on Facebook, facebook.com/hyperdrivepics. And then everything else is Steven Zurita, one word, Steven with a V, Zurita. That's Instagram, Twitter, Vine, Tumblr, all of it.
Nice.
Yep.
And the next episode is going to be called The Silver Secret, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's about time in the season for us to start getting these answers and kind of build up to those finales.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. We need answers. We definitely
Yeah.
need answers because we have questions.
That's right. And we enjoy your comments. We'd love to see and hear what's your favorite Zord formation. So leave a message in the comments below and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending in
geek
geek pop
and
culture.
culture.